Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Johnny Thomas Podcast on March 8th, Friday. Play it, Stu. Got the police opening up this podcast for us. Love the police. I know a lot of other people do. 5 great albums they put out. Thank you so much. Loving it. But today we're going to be talking about the Nazca lines in Peru, everyone, and welcome in. Welcome in if you're listening. I'm a brand new podcast, the Johnny Thomas Podcast. I like to talk about UFOs, UAPs, ancient civilizations, music, the police, Rush, classic rock, any rock, country rock, doesn't matter to me. Leave comments if you have anything that you want to talk about with me. I'll be more than glad to do that with you. Alexa, pause. But today, we're going to be talking about the Nazca lines in Peru. And I'm just going to play a little intro, a little description right here. And let's just check it out.
The Nazca Lines. Location and tour options for one of the world's greatest mysteries, the Nazca Lines, located in the desert plains of Peru. One of Peru's most sought-after travel destinations is located in the southern coastal valleys of Peru, about 6 hours from Lima. The small colonial-style town of Nazca is home to one of the world's greatest mysteries, the Nazca Lines. The lines are a series of enormous and peculiar ancient designs that were etched in the ground more than 2,000 years ago. The meaning of the lines are still unknown, but experts continue to come up with theories. These fascinating geoglyphs etched into the deserts of Peru offer more questions than answers. Spread across an incredible 50 miles of high and arid plateau rock, the Nazca lines consist of more than 800 scratched straight lines, 300 geometric figures, and some truly bewildering stylized animal and plant drawings. They are covered with ferruginous sand and gravel that acquired a dark patina from weathering. Scientists, mathematicians, and archaeologists have been studying the purpose of the Nazca lines since the 1920s, but there isn't enough conclusive evidence to determine the exact significance of the lines. Theories have been made connecting their meaning to everything from textiles and agriculture to aliens and stars.
That's what I think.
The Nazca lines were created between 500
can only see it from
BC
above.
and 500 CE. It is believed that the majority were created by the ancient Nazca people, 900 to 200 BCE, hence the name, but it's been found that some lines predate even them. The etchings were discovered by Peruvian archaeologist Toribio Meyers Esp in 1927, who believed the lines to be part of an ancient sacred road system. It wasn't until decades after Esp's discovery that the Nazca lines were seen from an aerial view to reveal their immensity and symbolic shapes. This exploration was led by Paul Kozak, an American professor of Long Island University, who flew his small aircraft over the lines in 1940 to 1941. They are the most outstanding group of geoglyphs anywhere in the world, and are unmatched in its extent, magnitude, quantity, size, diversity, and ancient tradition to any similar work in the world. The concentration and juxtaposition of the lines, as well as their cultural continuity, demonstrate that this was an important and long-lasting activity, lasting approximately 1,000 years. Intensive study of the geoglyphs and comparison with other manifestations of contemporary art forms suggests that they can be divided chronologically from the Middle and Late Formative, 500 BC to 200 AD, to the Regional Development Period, 200 to 500 AD, highlighting the Paracas phase,
really cool stuff,
400 to 200 BC, and the Nazca phase, 200 BC to 500 AD. There are two categories of glyphs. The first group is representational, depicting in schematic form a variety of natural forms including animals, birds, insects, and other living creatures and flowers, plants, and trees, deformed or fantastic figures and objects of everyday life.
There's no rain
There
or
are very
wind,
few
so
anthropomorphic
the lines have been there for
figures.
2,000 years,
The
untouched.
second group comprises the lines, which are generally straight lines that crisscross certain parts of the pampas in all directions. Some are several kilometers in length and form designs of many different geometrical figures, triangles, spirals,
Gigantic.
rectangles, wavy lines, etc. Others radiate from a central promontory or encircle it. Yet another group consists of so-called tracks, which appear to have been laid out to accommodate large numbers of people. The origin continues to be disputed, but the Nazca lines are thought to have been made by three different waves of pre-Inca cultures. The Paracas people, 900 to 200 BC. The Nazca civilization, 200 BC to AD 600. And the Huari, AD 630. As the name indicates, the majority of the lines are credited to the Nazca people. Some alternative theorists believe them to be created by extraterrestrials. Needless to say, the Nazca lines have kept archaeologists guessing for the past few decades.
A beacon where they can hone in and
size
find
and precision is mind-boggling. There are many differing theories about what the Nazca lines mean. One theory is that they were a way to be seen by deities and gods in the heavens.
That's exactly what they're
Another, by Professor Paul Kozak and archaeologist Maria Reich, declares the lines an astronomical observatory for solstices and other celestial events. Reich also believed that the shapes correlated to different constellations. Swiss historian Henry Stierlin believed them to have played a role in the fabrication of ancient textiles. There are even many people like author and ancient astronaut theorist Eric von Daniken, who believe that the line served as an alien landing strip.
Exactly.
Currently, the most accepted theory, originally suggested by archaeologist Johann Reinhard,
it's a landing strip for spaceships and UFOs. That's just what it is.
In the desert,
that's all
water
it
is a precious commodity and necessary for crops to grow and civilizations to thrive. Reinhard believed these were sacred paths leading to ceremonial sites where water deities can be worshipped.
Can only see it from the sky.
Stephen Mabee and archaeologist Donald
I wonder why.
Hypothesized that the lines literally pointed to water sources and marked groundwater supplies. Though no one theory is accepted as fact, many conclude that the lines were perhaps multifunctional. It is possible that certain areas related to agriculture and water and other celestial observation and religious use. The authenticity of the lines and geoglyphs of Nazca and Pampas de Jumana is indisputable. The method of their formation, by removing the overlying weathered gravels to reveal the lighter bedrock, is such that their authenticity is assured.
But they're
the
perfect.
Creation, design,
when you look from
morphology, above. Size, and variety of the geoglyphs
to make it on the ground
correspond to the original designs
they had to have balloons
during the historic evolution of
is
the
what
regions.
I'm thinking. At least a balloon
unchanged. The ideology,
get up there,
symbolism, and sacred and ritual character of the geoglyphs and the landscape are clearly represented, and their significance remains intact even today.
But they're signals. Like, see? They're gigantic. And they're perfect. That looks like aliens to me. How awesome was that? Okay, so the Nazca lines in the middle of Peru. Okay, so the... Oh, I thought I had a pause. Sorry about that. There we go. So... the Nazca lines, there's monkeys, there's animals, there's spiders, there's actually an astronaut, they call him El Astronauto, and he's waving up with one hand and pointing down with the other with a smile on his face like, hey, come back. Either come back or thank you for coming. Basically, come back is what I'm thinking. Or here we are. But why would they? It's in the side of a mountain. And when you look at it from the ground, you can't tell anything. All of these. Just a little bit of white dirt uncovered by darker dirt. But when you're flying above, they're perfect depictions of like a monkey. And the other thing is, there were no monkeys in that section of the world then. So how'd they know to draw a monkey? That's so baffling. No one has the answers because nobody knows shit about shit. I had to curse, I'm sorry, because that's just, you have to emphasize it. None of us know shit about shit. Even the smartest people on this planet. I don't want to name names, but just that doesn't matter. But people, that are super genius, they don't know. It's all hypothesis. It's all speculation. All this stuff. UFOs, UAPs, even though the government, okay, thanks to Jeremy Corbell, thanks to Ross Coulthart, a lot. Those guys pretty much brought it to the forefront. And Leslie Kane, shout out if you ever see this. I'd love to have all you guys on the podcast. I'm in Pennsylvania. I don't know where you guys are, but I would love to have you. Not a very big studio, but it's an awesome studio. This is my music studio. And my my podcast is new. And I'm not even going to edit that. I don't even care. I like being live. And I just have a lot of questions about a lot of different things on this planet. The pyramid, okay, Nazca lines, all right, non-Madal, Baalbek. I could go on and on. All the megalithic structures, Pumapunku. Oh my God, the H blocks. I just did a mini show yesterday, just a couple of minutes, just to like a preview, but I'm going to do another one on Pumapunku. Unbelievable what's going on. I mean, I'm just baffled by all of it. So I want to get on a podcast like I'm doing to get out there and get the word out. And just so you know, again, my eyes, I look like I'm super stoned. But I have Lyme's disease, which is terrible. And it affects my eyes. They're all puffy. And I have problems with my sight kind of when I take my glasses off. Like the yellowy tint that I see. And just, it's been miserable for years. But anyway, if you think I'm stoned, I'm not. But I wish I was. I'm just kidding. So yeah, I want answers. And I want them now. Okay, that's what we're all. A shout out to all the podcasters, because we don't have enough as far as I'm concerned. We don't have enough podcasters. Okay, so I'm doing it too. I'm not used to talking to a camera or anything like that. I was in bands my whole life, so I'm used to being in front of a microphone because I used to sing in the band for years and years all over. But yeah, I just, the Nazca lines alone, and they're meant to see from above for some reason. And they're down, picture people down on the ground. They're perfect depictions, drawings of a monkey, a bird, a spider, but they're the size of like 3 football fields. Okay, they're gigantic. And no one has the answers to anything. That, the pyramid, non-Madal, supposedly in the middle of nowhere. Don't go there because supposedly it's cursed and people have died when they've gone to non-Madal. You got to YouTube. You got to check this out and research, people. That's what I'm doing. And I'm watching other podcasts like Billy Carlson, and which I love. Shout out to everybody. All these people on the podcast with UAPs and Jeremy Corbell and all those guys want to figure the fuck out what's going on the planet. Does anyone care? I don't even know if anybody's going to be seeing this or watching this. I did get one comment, but subscribe if you want to. I mean, I know it's a pain to hear that. Everybody says it, but if you don't, you don't. If you do, you do. I'm still happy, okay? Because I'm going to still do it and have fun. And my nephew Ron comes on Sundays because he's close, but he has a family and kids. I have more time because I'm homesick with my Lyme's disease, which I'll get into in another podcast. But the Nazca lines alone, it has to do with somebody from somewhere else, whether it be in the ocean, which a lot of people speculate they're in the ocean, from other dimensions, quantum physics, string theory. Avi Loeb, Gary Nolan, the smartest people in the world are starting to want answers. Oumuamua, okay, that too. We're going to get into that, another podcast, Oumuamua. Just what the heck is that thing? Coming from another solar system, flapping around the sun. It's a solar sail. That's what I'm thinking. Avi Loeb said that because he's super genius, super smart. Harvard. Gary Nolan, super duper genius. Love you guys. Thank you for all your hard work and for coming out and saying something because we want answers. Some people speculate it's bad to give, we put a disc into space years ago, and the satellites that are out there. I mean, some civilization is bound to find it. Which now they found Planet X, Nibiru, which has been there the whole time. Little bit of disclosure here and there, but it's get it over with. Get it over with, and if people panic and everything falls apart, then it'll get built back up. And once people realize and come out of the shock that there's, we're not the only ones, which is ridiculous. We're not. And we're not at the top of the food chain, people. This is just speculation by me, like everybody else. But if you're listening, I feel I'm right. Okay? Like the pyramid and Nazca lines. Chris Dunn. Thank you, Chris, for all your hard work. If you ever see this, I'd love to have you on the podcast, if possible, someday. I don't have a lot of viewers, but I did get, 250 views in the last maybe 8 videos, 9 I have. So somebody's watching. And somebody's starting to get it, because I'm just out here to have fun, first of all. I don't want to forget that fact. I do have fun doing this, and I'm really glad I thought, even though there's so many podcasters out there, but not enough. Keep on coming out, podcasters, and we got to get the word out. That's one of the things Billy Carlson said on one of his many awesome podcasts. Forbidden Knowledge is the name of his podcast, one of them. And but yeah, he's got a lot of great, interesting things and facts that he talks about. Okay, like the pyramid, and there's so many. Every mathematical problem, everything about it is just knowledge. And it was a power plant, the pyramid, and all the Nazca lines that we just watched, the pyramid, Namadal, they're all connected because there's pyramids all over the world. Supposedly now there's another one in Alaska, a black one, that's bigger than the one in Giza. But nobody knows shit about shit, do we? No. Some people do. Maybe 1% of people, 2% in the world know. Probably because of money and they're filthy rich and they get to know these secrets because they have secret meetings in Antarctica. I can't even say that right. Sorry, that's an edit, but I'm not going to do it. Antarctica. Supposedly the richest people around there, they have meetings there. Who fucking knows anything? All the normal blue-collar people around the world like us, all we know is get up, go to work, get your money, and pay your bills. Do the best you can. Take care of your family and try to help others when you can, like it says in the Bible. There's so much to talk about because the Bible, again, which many will agree, is made up, a lot of it. They just took parts of the ancient texts and rambled it and flambled it all around and then decided to write the Bible in a way where, there's a singular God. But if you look in the Bible, the word El means gods. And the shining ones in the Bible, anybody ever see these? Does anybody care? The shining ones? I believe that's like closest to God. The Anunnaki are supposedly second to God. And that's all in the ancient text. But the shining ones in the Bible, you don't want to make them unhappy. And they're unhappy because of the shape of the world. And the angry monkeys, us, we're doing it, okay, to their planet. It's not ours. It's someone else's. We don't know because nobody knows shit about shit. Every single thing you can go down, every road of UFOs, UAPs, the pyramid. The truth is no one knows. I don't know. You don't know out there. Nobody has the answers. But we want them because that's why we're all here trying to figure it out. Right? This is what I'm thinking. The Nazca lines, all these things it's non-ending to get to the truth. And the truth hurts, doesn't it? But I want the truth before I die. And I've never seen a UFO. Maybe I had another podcast. I was 10 and I might have seen the type of thing that flew over the White House in 1952. Google it all, people. YouTube it. Those are real. Think about it. In 1952, a swarm of UFOs flew over the White House because they heard people saying they could peer everything and do everything that's just super millions of years ahead of us. Probably. This is just my speculation. My hypothesis is that they flew over the White House. They didn't land, but they flew over and said, here we are, what are you going to do? Nothing. I like that screen. It's kind of cool looking. But yeah, so all these different things, nobody has the answers to. So I want to figure it out, okay? And social media is the only way to do it. Get on a podcast, get on YouTube, get it where Twitter, Facebook, wherever it is. And I'd like to say a very heartfelt thank you to all of them for letting us be here, the podcasters. But I don't know. It's like I want to say I feel like I'm doing it for a reason, but I just really want to have fun, and I'm home a lot because I'm sick with Lyme's disease. I started a podcast. But I am pretty knowledgeable of a lot of different things because I followed it for years, and I'm old. I'm 60. I turned 60 in November. But yeah, I want answers, people just like you. Try to figure it out together. So the more podcasters that get on, the more comments I get. Send me some comments. Do whatever you feel like doing. If you want to subscribe, great. But I'm not in it like for money or anything like that. I'm not rich at all, but I'm having fun. And if anybody's out there, I'm getting more and more used to it. These are just trial runs for me on my podcast. And my nephew's going to get the audio matched up, and we're going to have better audio and keep on going with different podcasts. But I'm feeling good, people. You know, I'm having my new medication, my supplements I take for my Lyme's disease. It helps me a lot lately, but I have a lot of bad days too. But I'm not going to be on here on those bad days. Only the good ones. And hopefully there's a lot of people out there that want to come on and watch the show with me. Get some popcorn, get a drink, have an ice cold beer. Doesn't that sound good? Just make sure you're an adult and of age to drink. But yeah, get an ice cold beer. I like different types of drink. I don't care what it is, but right now I got some water, which I'll take a sip of with you. Cheers to everyone out there watching. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching the Johnny Thomas podcast on YouTube. And thank you, YouTube, again. But yeah, I mean, the pyramid alone, that's on my bucket list. I can't travel a lot because of this sickness too, which is sucky. But I want to touch the pyramid because aliens made it. Guess what, people? People, picture someone up there like tapping. When you go there to visit, supposedly they give you pounding stones. You're pounding like an idiot up there. You're not going to cut laser cuts into a piece of granite with a round rock, are you? No. We're smart, people. We're smarter than that. And these aliens, whoever they may be or whatever is going on, are probably laughing because they blatantly put these signs here saying maybe one day they'll figure out that they didn't make it and someone else did because of the precision. They're aligned with the stars, Orion, the Orion system, which I believe that's where we're from because that's the birthplace of stars. But see, I go on my rants. I started with the Nazca line, but it is all connected. And I just wanted to start out with that. Who did it and why they do it? I want answers. I just want to flap back in time, if I'm able to, like a UFO flap. What I really want to do is see if I could jump up and grab a hold of one real quick and go on a frickin' flapping ride wherever they take me. Like they did to Travis Walton by accident is what I think on that abduction. Yeah. Notice that he hates it and he doesn't really want to talk about it. He was like almost forced to do it. And he's like, all right, I'm ready. Who wants to think of that and revisit it in any way? Getting abducted. And God knows what they're going to do because they cannot do whatever they want to do. They come in and out of time. They're in wormholes. They're just up there laughing. Commander David Fravor in 2004, I believe it was, with the Tic Tac video. You guys hear about that too? I'm going to do that on another podcast too. I can't keep up with it, people. God, thanks a lot, dude, for stepping out and saying something, even though it was inevitable because you're flying over your awesome jet and the Black Aces. He was the leader of the Black Aces, okay? And he's flying over and they send him out and he comes down over the ocean and the ocean's all like foamy on a clear, crystal clear day and there's a Tic Tac going this, like that around and just sees him and goes boop, boop, starts mirroring him and all kinds of crazy shit. It was a UFO, something from somewhere else. It could be the ocean, we don't know, or outer space, inner space. No one knows shit about shit. All the smartest people, all the podcasters I watch, I love every one of you. Lex Friedman, you're a genius, dude. MIT graduates, Gary Nolan, they don't know. They speculate. And I love them for speculating. Because we got to figure it out. Okay? Or we don't. We either do or we don't. Okay? As far as I mean, I can see them being a threat to UAPs and UFOs being a threat to the airways, because they're starting to. There's so many videos I could show you, 50 of them right now, and they're crisscrossing planes and going in front of them. One guy in Mexico was flying a private plane back, and 3 separate UFOs, one on each wing and one underneath. They started taking him up in the air, shut his systems down. That's another one. I gotta find that and show you too. Dear God. James Fox, moment of contact in Brazil in 1996. UFO crashed. The aliens were like walking around the streets. They were alive. Who makes that up? It happened. James, come on the podcast. Let's talk about it. Tell the story everywhere, any way you can. Even though I don't have a lot of viewers yet, but hopefully I will someday soon. And really interested in it, you know? Shout out to you, James Fox. You ever see this, dude? You're a kick-ass warrior. I emailed you. I said it on one of my other shows that I emailed you and trying to get you on here, but I am new. I don't expect answers from anybody. But I would love it, because all it's going to do is just get to any viewer, any 1, 2, 10. Hopefully I can get 20 million like a couple of these people. That would be great, because the more the merrier. Just getting it out, we can all realize who we are, where we're from, what happened with the Anunnaki, that we were created by. In the Bible it says gods, in the ancient texts, in the Jewish texts, in the Veda, in the Mahabharata, the Indian text, the Veda, all of them. They all say the same thing around the world. If you open your eyes and you look around the world, there's pyramids all over the place. In Mexico, everywhere. Europe, everywhere. Russia, China, Japan. How'd they get the same pyramids all around the world when nobody had any transportation to get anywhere around the world but walk? Yeah, hey Louie, yeah, just gather up the group. We're gonna walk across we have to cross the ocean too. The Red Sea. It doesn't matter. No. The first sign of UFOs is in the Bible. If anybody reads it or cares, it says Ezekiel saw the wheel. There's a song about it, people. Way up in the middle of the air. It wasn't a wheel. It was a fucking UAP. UFO. That's what it was. And that's who came down with Moses. A burning bush. God doesn't fly around in anything. He doesn't need a spaceship. He appears. Does whatever he wants to do. Okay? They were ETs. They were Anunnaki. Good people, seems to me, because we'd all be dead by now. We wouldn't be around. Even though Enlil, I think, tried to wipe us out with the flood because he was the god of rain, thunder, lightning, and get the fuck out of my way or I'll hit you with a lightning bolt, dude. God, I said that all in one breath. I'm on fire. I would watch my podcast if I was me. You. Sorry. I'm pretty funny, too, at times, I think. Comic genius in my world. My wife doesn't think so, but what are you going to do? My whole family, they just don't want to be around me a lot because I like have to put them in the hospital in the comedy hospital because their kidneys are going to implode in their body and their spleen displaces and detaches and things. It's ugly because of my comedy. But we'll get back to that in another podcast too. I only had 2 cups of coffee today, but I'm riding high on those 2. I'm feeling good. Thank goodness. Had a great breakfast with my wife before she went to our rental to have to fix something, to do something. She wanted to do a little work in the bathroom, and I'm staying home podcasting. So lucky me. Really lucky me, because I love this. I'm having a great time. But all these different things I'm talking about, everybody, we got to get together as one team all around the world. I know I'm right. This is what the whole point was in the beginning when Thoth, Thoth, I'm going to talk about him a lot. Thank you, dude, really, for all your hard work and like trying to like set the golden civilization on fire around the planet. He sent his crew out around the planet and they did start. That's what Atlantis is. Atlantis is the whole planet. We're on it. Atlantis is everywhere around us. We just don't research and don't look and don't look at the ancient tablets. And you can go to the UCLA library and they have a virtual library. Just take a disc, drop it in the decoder, and boom, you can read it for yourself. It's easy. Then go to Worldwide Telescope, everyone. Worldwide Telescope. Okay, it's completely awesome. You can see every picture of every rover picture on the moon, Mars, up close. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of anomalies on Mars and the moon. The moon too. Maybe later on. I think I'm gonna do another moon. The moon is shouldn't be there. Notice we haven't been there in 50 years. Why? Because they told the Angry Monkeys don't come back. The Angry Monkeys. Sorry, it's another Reddit, but I'm not doing it. I'm lazy. And you get the gist of it, don't you? Everybody out there. Hopefully, there's people watching, or I'm a freaking gonna be upset because I'm talking to myself. I'm just kidding. Having a great time. It's Friday, everyone. Friday. TGIF. Someone said it for a reason. Like there's no place like home. What's her name? That in that movie, she clicked her red slippers. I want to go home. Want to go home. Because there's no place like home. There isn't. I don't care where you are. You go home and your stuff is there. You're happy. And it's comfy and it's cozy. But anyway, I'm just going to leave you with that on this podcast. I'm going to leave you guessing. I'm coming back a little later on and doing another one. Maybe about the moon. Shouldn't be where it is. How come we can't see the dark side of the moon, people? Because they don't want us to. Okay? I'll be back. I'm going to go get something to eat for lunch, and I'm going to come back and talk about the moon, I think, and a couple other things I'm baffled by on this freaking ball of dirt. We got to figure it out as a team, people. A world team. You with me? Johnny Thomas Podcast. I'm out. I'll be back. Thank you for watching.